we're going to go through, how to achieve increased conversions, lower bounce rates, get higher engagement by building a clear web strategy and writing better copy. So we're going to go through, the 5 questions that every website should answer. We're going to go over some of my favorite copywriting power words. We're going to go through some real examples, some copywriting tips based on psychology, really just persuading the customer to take action. So I'll give you guys some examples and some brief case studies there. But I want to start with really that goes into my philosophy of copywriting. I think what you guys as small business owners and what I see a lot happen is that we want to please the machines with SEO and with ranking, and we don't always think about pleasing, the human and persuading them, because we are selling to human beings as well. So we want to make sure that we appeal to their emotions at the end of the day. So I want to start with a story about a company called Ring. In 2013, Jamie Siminoff invented the smart home and home security company Ring. And now the idea for it came up because he has an annoying problem. Now, Jamie was this inventor, always tinkering with new ideas. And he was working on this thing called Snap Garden at the time, this really sustainable garden that he was building out in his backyard. But he was getting all these shipments to his house. And so he could never hear the doorbell ring. So he kept missing all these shipments and materials that he needed. So again, this was an annoying problem. He was working in his garage. So what he did then was invent a doorbell. When it rang, it had Wi-Fi, so he could connect to his phone. So whenever he was in his garage and he couldn't hear the doorbell, now he could because he had Wi-Fi on his phone. So pretty smart idea, right? If we're away from the door, maybe if we're away from the house, we can see who's coming to our door, packages that delivered, right? But Ring sold to Amazon for $1 billion. Now, the big idea, though, that helped unlock this right message and how he started marketing it was he started at pre-selling. During pre-selling, he was asking customers why they bought it. And one woman said this: "My neighbor's house was robbed and the robbers actually rang the doorbell. So if that ever happened to me, now I can answer it and act like I'm home." So this was another benefit and a big benefit of Ring, that you could speak to it because it had a two-way speaker and you could act like you're home and you could see who's at your front door, right? So that's really what I'm getting at with this message, is selling this emotional benefit of the benefit. So it's not just saying, hey, we are a Wi-Fi video doorbell, right? The first of its kind. That's an easy thing to do. But now they explain their simple idea of how they improve their customers' lives. So what's in it for the reader is what we're thinking about here. So answer the door from anywhere. And then Ring is on a mission to make neighborhoods safer, starting at the front door. So again, he's listened to his customer. This is the emotional benefit of the benefit. So the benefit, I can answer my door from anywhere, but the emotional benefit is that I can feel safe. My home feels safe. My neighborhood feels safe. And again, they give a reason the customer should care about having a doorbell with the camera and microphone. So this is great website copy here. Again, it doesn't really say literally what the product is. It's not bragging about ourselves, we, in scenarios like that. So I always like sharing that story because I listened to this on a podcast called How I Built This, and you explain that part of the story. And I'm like, that's what most business owners neglect, listening to their customers and finding that emotional benefit of the benefit message. So again, it leads into my philosophy. So there I am right here, guys. Once again, in this beautiful lifestyle stock image photo right there. A great copy tells people how cool they can be, not how cool you are. That's my copywriting philosophy. So the best place to start is to understand who your customer is, what problem you solve, and how you can improve their lives. So once you do this, there's 3 things that you can do, how you can write copy. So again, it sells the emotional benefit of the benefit. It appeals to one's self-interest. And copywriting, ultimately, you want to influence a person to exchange his or her hard-earned money for your product or service. One big thing with the website: does your website copy pass the me test? I see this problem happen a lot. We naturally want to talk about ourselves for the thing that we created to help solve this big problem. So we are doing this. I can show you this. We achieve this, our solutions. We see the we, the I's, the R's. So an example, we are redefining task management. So it could be this task management software. But when you think and write like this, You're putting the customer's needs second. You're talking like you're cooler than them and you're selling to them right away. You're not telling them how you can help them. So one way to flip this of we are redefining task management, think about how it improves our customers' lives. Open one app to see your to-do list, not 5. So it answers an objection as well right there. So an exercise that you guys can do if you look at your website after this presentation, or if you have it on the separate screen, I don't care, it's okay. Replace me statements with we, I, or are with you or your statements. So you could say, I show you how to, or you could change that to discover how to achieve XYZ results. So we're talking to them at that point. And I want to share this example from Squarespace, because one thing I like to say when I work with clients and when we're trying to find their unique value proposition and write website copy is challenge the reader to think differently. So sell the dream results, not the product or service. And Squarespace, they are a website platform. They help you build websites very easily and quickly. So it doesn't just sell a tool to make a website. They give people a way to make their big ideas a real thing. So look at this headline here. A website makes it real, right? I know a lot of people know what Squarespace is, but just that it triggers these emotions. And it was a great campaign that they did. They showed all these other small businesses. Obviously, here's a Korean American cuisine restaurant. But I always like sharing that example when it comes to effective website copy. So I talked about this in the beginning here, everyone. 5 things I look for in a website when I get there, when I land on it. Right? So before your site or new offer goes live, write down the answer to these 5 questions, because this will help you write clear, compelling copy. Think about who are you helping? What is the problem you're solving? Right? So who are you helping? Are you helping, busy entrepreneurs, C-suite executives, new mothers, right? Female entrepreneurs. What is the problem you're solving for them? And what is the wow transformation? So what does that new life look like? How is their life going to improve? Similar to Squarespace, the website makes their dream come true, right? Why should I choose you? So talk about why you're unique and why you can help get the job done. And then ultimately explain clearly how they can take the next step. What do you want them to do? Those are the big things. So 4 of the most impactful words in copywriting. And guys, we're going to touch on those things as well throughout the website, those 5 questions. And when we do the website review, teardown audit of a couple websites that you guys generously chose and said, I want you guys to review my website. So I'm going to go through one and then a couple others to show you some examples of this. So stay tuned for after this presentation, and you guys can kind of see the thought process. And we definitely recommend that you guys engage and participate as well and help come up with some ideas, because I know you may not want to hear my voice for the next hour all the time, right? So let's get to the 4 of the most impactful words in copywriting. So you is great for headlines, for subject lines and emails, for your PPC ads, because again, you're putting the focus on the customer. And there was a Yale study. Yale is a prominent university in America, on the East Coast of America, where they ran a study that you is the most influential word in advertising. Because again, when you say like get your, or you, your, all these, like these words, it's so important because we're putting the customer in the frame of mind. Now I can imagine what's happening to me in that case. So 2 is new. So new is simple. We all like something novel. We all like getting a rush of dopamine, even from some of our favorite brands. If we see new in the headline or in the subject line, we're more inclined to pay attention and to click and take action. So if you're promoting something, or if you've discovered this new way to solve a problem, say that literally, new way to solve XYZ. It's a very influential word in copywriting. Number 3, imagine. This is arguably my favorite one, because really it tells you that a mini story is coming. And when you say the words like imagine being on a roller coaster, right? I mean, just something like that, even when we're storytelling, or imagine waking up every morning and having a clear idea, what to do on your to-do list, or imagine waking up feeling rejuvenated, right? Now you can use some visual words there, but the word imagine just puts them front and center in the story. They're coming along for the ride when you start a sentence with the word imagine. And the word free, that's pretty simple, everyone. We all like free things, right? So when we say something free, like we we immediately just think that this is going to be maybe beneficial for us. And it's just a prominent word to use, especially in subject lines. If you're hosting a free webinar, free download, it's a really small barrier of entry for people to really take action. So I definitely wanted to share those 4 words with everyone there. Now we're getting into some website copywriting tips, everyone. And we're going to start with the homepage, because if we want people to stay on your website, you have to impress on your homepage. And even if you are running digital ads and people go to a sales page, these people will do their research. Customers will go online and they'll look at you in the search engines and they'll find your website. So you want to have a clear homepage. So what you don't want to do, we'll start with the bad news first. You don't want to greet your new visitors with blocks of text, right? Tons of text. You're like, wow, this is strenuous on the eyes. I have to read all of this right now. A confusing headline like Powerhouse Solutions for XYZ. No clear call to action, right? There's nothing there for me to do. I'm just reading all this text. Or images and links that distract them from your goal. So what do you want them to do? There's just going to be a bunch of images popping up, a video auto playing that's going to distract me from trying to figure out why I should buy from you, right? Those are some things not to greet your new visitors with right away. And I recommend too, this next one, if you're the face of the brand. So if you have a company name, or if you use your personal brand name, have your face front and center and visible at the top of your homepage. Because if they hear about you, so if someone hears about Terry Schilling and they go to my website, I want them to see me like, okay, they came to the right place. And even if you have your company name is something different than your name, you show yourself though, that you are that face of that brand. So just want to recommend that. We talked about this a little bit, guys. Describe a transformation. So think if they come to your website and immediately want to know what's in it for me. So sell that emotional benefit of the benefit. And then what is the ideal action you want visitors to take? So think about what you want them to do. A lot of small business owners, and they start their website and they don't really necessarily focus on the call to actions here. They just say maybe browse my portfolio or read more about me or get your offer. But what do you want them to do to help them take this journey to becoming a customer? Do they want to browse your inventory, start shopping, subscribe to an email list, and use clear call to actions for what to do next? Like go here, start here. Maybe necessarily learn more. It just sounds like there's a lot more to do. There's a lot more reading to do. So if you say something like go here or get this, that's just being more clear of what they can do and what they're going to receive once they click that call to action button. Now, I want to talk about how to know what copy to write. So this is a great place to start. If you're new to copywriting and you're not sure how to get started, it's really about the research. And it doesn't have to be as strenuous as you think. It's just really having a deeper understanding of who your dream customers are. And there's some simple exercises that you can think of. And one is from the popular book, Breakthrough Advertising by Eugene Schwartz, where he breaks down a prospect's awareness levels in 5 stages. So I want to go through these 5 stages with you and give you an example of what you can do. So number 1 is when a customer is unaware. So they don't even realize he or she has a problem, which is a tougher sell. But if they are unaware of, your product and your solution, you can get their attention by telling a story. So tell a human story. Either tell your story of how you came up with it, talk to a story about a customer, and use some language that has visualization. And I'll get to some examples later or here shortly. But tell a story if you feel customers are completely unaware. And these questions I like to ask when I work with clients of where they feel their prospects are. So this is a very helpful exercise for anyone here. Next is problem aware. So they know they have a problem, but they don't necessarily fully understand it yet, right? So it just could be like, I'm hungry, but they don't really know where to go, right? So challenge them with the secret. So here's the best way to fulfill your appetite fast, right? Here's the real reason why, or how XYZ gets desired goal would be an example there. Solution aware. So the prospect knows there is a solution like yours, but not sure who to trust. So use the proven method of state the problem and offer a solution and why it works. So there's a popular formula called the PAS formula, PAS, where you state a problem that your customers have. Like, are you tired of losing sleep every night, or like not having a great night's rest, and then agitate that problem. And you could talk about how 60% of human beings, suffer from insomnia. And I'm making these stats up, but you're agitating that problem. You're letting them know that there's other people who are looking for solutions. And then you offer a solution and then why it works. So if they're solution aware, again, they know their solution, but they want to make sure they're going with the right person. Problem, solution. Pretty simple formula, copywriting formula there. So product aware. So if they've heard about you, potentially word of mouth, but they just haven't purchased yet. Maybe they looked on you on social media. They're doing their due diligence. They're still weighing their options and researching. Promise them something. Say why you're different. Build brand authority there. Use testimonials. Use stats of why you're the person that small businesses use to sell their brand online. Something like that. Build that brand authority when people are product aware. Now, most aware. So this product is already a customer, past or present. I like this brand a lot. I'm a Nike fan. I haven't bought something in a while. So then show them the deal. Show them that something new has come out. The new Jordans have come out. Make a direct offer to them. Get 25% off. Here's your coupon. We haven't seen you in a while. So if you have customers on your email list and you want them to buy again, because they are most aware, show them a deal. Create something new for them to pique their interest. So now we want to get to one of the most important parts of the website, attention-grabbing headlines, everyone. You got to get their attention. And so I have 3 ways that you can do this quickly. And I have some examples, as you can see to the right, and we'll go through them. So explain what you do as simply as you can. So look, I gave some examples here. So Anchor FM. Anchor FM is a website where you can easily create a podcast. And they could talk about all the technology and all the other features right away. But here's what I see when I first land on their website. Easiest way to create your podcast. Again, they use your. They're talking about me. They're speaking to me instead of at me, which is really great. So Who Gives a Crap is a toilet paper company, and they offer subscription. But theirs is 100% bamboo and recycled toilet paper. So it's different right there. I highly recommend you guys look up Who Gives a Crap. It's an Australian company and their copy is really funny. So if you have a more fun brand that it's just a really good lesson in natural tone of voice. Dugout Mugs is drink from a baseball bat. If you go on their site, dugoutmugs.com, it's literally what it says, drink from a baseball bat. You can pick your favorite American baseball team and you can see and you can chug from a baseball bat. It's a mug. So Fast is a company. One click, no passwords, the world's fastest checkout. So when I say explain what you do as simply as you can, and here's the example here to the right of what their homepage looks like, you don't want to confuse the reader. I think is if you confuse me, you lose me. So they could say something like, do you fast? And then there's multiple ways of using that verb fast. It could be fasting for food. And it's just confusing. So what does that mean? Instead, they go with something simple, one click, no passwords, the world's fastest checkout. So break down what you do as a company and then see how many words you can take out and just explain it as simple as you can. Another thing with a headline, start with the goal and answer the objection. So if the goal is you're selling this, if you're selling meals from, master chefs that people can just easily cook at their home or heat up, I want a good meal, but I don't want to cook completely. Don't want to spend my whole night cooking. Get Master Chef meals at home without cooking. So it could be a delivery service where you order it pre-made meals. I want to grow my hair back, but embarrassed to ask the doctor. Hair growth supplements delivered to your door. So think about that. What's the goal? And answer that objection. And then show your brand authority. I was mentioning that in the last slide. So like the all-in-one platform for remote teams, or how small businesses manage expenses. So we're building that. This is how you do this. This is the all-one platform for remote teams. Hims, a men's wellness company, all things men's wellness, right? And they even talk about skip the trip to the doctor's office and connect with medical experts today, right? So they're making that answering objections. I don't want to go to the doctor's office. Well, you can skip that and you can talk to one today through Hims, through telehealth, and all things men's wellness. They're really building brand authority there. How to avoid lazy copywriting, which I see a lot. And maybe guys, even if you look at your websites, and I'm not saying that I did, and this is true, you can see this as well. Marketers sometimes like to use these buzzwords and they're vague and they're overused. I'm sure Eliana, you can attest to this by seeing copy as well. You see a lot of solutions. You see a lot of best in class. You see a lot of revolutionary results. This is an example of lazy copywriting. We can be more visual. So I have some examples here if you look at this. So I have this guy, he's fallen asleep. Window cleaning solutions for your home. Window cleaning solutions for your home. I sound like every other company offering window cleaning services. Here, get spotless windows to see outside again. And you can visualize spotless windows and seeing outside. We're using a word like see, and we're using a word like get. You can't picture window cleaning solutions right away. So the takeaway, simple guys, visualization is effective. And I'll dive into this a little bit more here shortly. What to include at the top of the fold. And everyone, if you're asking questions, I will get to the Q&A towards the end of this. And please
Terry,
ask.
do you want to just, what does top of the fold mean?
Yeah, great question. So top of the fold is when you first land on a website. So like if you go and you scroll down, like that's like the bottom of the fold the more you scroll. So the top of the fold is everything you see until you scroll. If that is clear. It makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah. And so like this example, this screenshot here is the top of the fold when I land at getshift.com. If I scroll down, then I get away from the top of the fold, but this is everything I see right away. And so the headline needs to be the value that your customers get. So here, the workstation for productive people. So we're talking to somebody. We're talking to people who feel productive, and this is the workstation for that. The subtitle is how you deliver that value with your product. So how do we make this the workstation for productive people? So Shift is the desktop app for streamlining your accounts, apps, and workflows. And they even have a clear call to action, download now. And then the visual. You guys want to have a good visual. So show imagery of how your product works or the actual product. So this Shift is if you took all your Gmail accounts and your Slack, your Instagram, your social media, you can put it all in one desktop app and you can see it all and go back and forth. And if you go to their website, it's like a GIF playing and they go to different screens. But this is ideal for combining good imagery with effective copy. You have that value, you show that you're the desktop app streamlining your accounts, and they show a clear example of that. So those are 3 things to look out for, like immediately when someone lands on your webpage, if that helps you with writing your headline in the subtitle. And we'll use this examples when we go through some of the websites here in a little bit. I want to show an example too, just based on that, everyone, of one of my clients in Dallas, Texas. She had a photo booth business. So when I first met her and we're talking about her, she had these keywords. She was looking to go with I want to say modern photo booth in Dallas, Texas, because I want to like rank high on the pages. I'm like, I understand. It's like, well, we can do this in other ways. We don't want to sound like everyone else. And again, just clearly say like we're talking to a machine. So I decided, I was like, let's go with an emotional copy aspect. We want to match the visuals with your website as well. So capture the moments that matter. Make your next event unforgettable with Capture Co Photo Booth. And here, like this is a video playing in the background that you can't see, but this is one of the images that will pop up. So it matched the imagery of the event that they're at. They showed the photo booth, but again, we went for that emotional benefit of the benefit. So again, I feel like I'm saying this a lot. I feel like we should raise a toast every time I say it, guys. But capture the moments that matter. So the benefit is you get this photo booth for my event. This is what I'm looking for. But now I can capture all the moments that mean a lot to me and to my guest, and they can take home too. So as you see down here, the homepage bounce rate went from 57% to 39%, which was like really substantial drop. Really proud of that. And bounce rate for everyone who's curious is if I land on a website, let's say I go to Capture Co, that's recording one session. So before I go to a next page, it's just me looking at the homepage. And then if I leave that website entirely, that's the bounce rate. So how many people will go on there and not continue and look at another website or click a call to action button? So if like 60% of people land on your site and go somewhere else right away, that's like a bounce rate of 60%. So we want to lower that. And copywriting is a big element of doing that, because you can capture their attention with the headline and lead them, to your desired action. We're going to go through a handful of copywriting tips before we dive into the website teardown here, everyone. But just quick copy tips to know and use. So write like your audience talks. So if your customers use a little bit of language slang, you can use that too. And really think of common phrases that you use describing your brand and include that in your copy. Read reviews, do customer surveys from time to time, and see how customers are talking about your brand and use that in your copy. So this next one, if a customer leaves a review saying, I Googled natural pain relief and I was so happy I found this, you can write on your homepage, stop Googling for natural pain relief, you found it, or you're in the right place. You can take that and use that as copywriting on your website. I do this a lot with projects that I work on and even my own materials, and I find it very effective. Ask a question. Very simple. I've seen this happen on a lot of websites, and it's smart because questions, they open up this loop in our head that we naturally want to close. It personalizes our reaction to it. So are you looking to get a beautiful website? Are you looking to have an immaculate lawn and garden? Right? Asking that question, it's like, well, the question probably yes, right? Or it's like, are you tired of XYZ? That power of that question mark will get people to continue to read because again, we want to close this loop in our head. This next one, use real numbers instead of percentages. I always like telling people this one because we relate better when we say 7 out of 10 people approve of our product compared to 70% of customers approve. Because 7 out of 10 people, 8 out of 10, we can visualize that more than a percentage. And this last one, read your copy out loud. Eliana, you could probably attest to this from a copy editing standpoint. And everyone, it may sound weird, but if you write your copy on your website, go ahead and read it out loud to yourself. Maybe even share it with a friend or family member. But read your copy out loud because then you can really get an idea of, does this sound natural? Does it feel like I'm having an actual conversation? Are there any grammar mistakes? Am I really sounding too stuffy? I do this all the time and I recommend it. Can't recommend it enough for that quick copywriting tip to read your copy out loud, everyone. Here, we'll get into some fun stuff. Copy tips to help you communicate successfully. Now, these can use across all your marketing, everyone. All right. But so use active voice versus passive voice. Active voice and verbs, they have the person or thing do the action. You're sounding strong. You're sounding confident with active voice. Passive voice, you can imagine you're talking weak and you sound less confident. So some examples here, our hair supplement helped 9 out of 10 people get their hair back. Well, if we went active voice, now 9 out of 10 people use hymns to successfully grow their hair back. We're using that active voice there. And a quick trick and tip, you can easily revise these weak, dull sentences by searching for and replacing be verbs like are, were, was, am, and replace them with active verbs. Active voice, I know sometimes it makes sense to use passive voice, but when you have that opportunity, look for those verbs like are, were, was, and am, and see how you can flip that to an active voice. Keep it simple. The more understandable it is, the more credible and confident you sound. So don't use a long word when a short word can say the same thing. And this is like editing tips. So when you go back, before you hit publish, review and see how you can keep it simple and watch out for adverbs. So adverbs are like, are you really tired? In this example here, finding a match is incredibly easy. Incredibly is that adverb. You're sounding like too much, like you're trying too hard. Finding a match is simple. Clear as day. Finding a match is simple. So here, are you really tired of? You can change it to, are you exhausted? Simple. Say the same thing, and it's simple and it's easier to read. Cut out a word if you can. An example here, change. You have the ability to change to you can change. So have the ability to, you change that to can. Much shorter sentence. We're keeping it simple. We're keeping the story rolling. People are continuing to read and taking action, ideally. Use visualization. We touched on this. M&Ms, melt in your mouth. Good visualization there for the candy. Allstate is an insurance company. You're in good hands. So these memorable messages are written in terms of vivid pictures and human actions, because these are things that we can visualize. We can visualize something melting in our mouth and not in our hand. And you can write copy to appeal to these senses of the reader. Even words like look, see, feel, smell, smile, like look at this. Can you hear this? We're automatically thinking of like maybe putting our ear closer, right? But we're starting to use visualizations because these are humans' emotions that we can visualize. so they can create textures and scents, even if it's just in the mind of the reader. Examples: made from fresh hand-picked strawberries. Walk in and smell the hickory smoked bacon. Does this sound good? Right? You can lead that to a question and then get to your next point. Cotton as soft as a cloud. These are good visualizations that we can use. And again, in looking at some of the human actions and appealing to these senses as well. When in doubt, tell a story. So here's some tips for telling a story. First, it activates this part in our brain when we hear a story, that we can turn the story into our own experience. Like if I started talking about how like my first job after university was working at a bar, working retail. Now, some of you you're immediately taking it to your own experience of that time as well while you're listening. And this is called neurocoupling. So this is stories that can trigger these positive emotions. It releases dopamine in the brain. It makes the story easier to remember with greater accuracy. And some ways that you can, appeal to this with your reader is you can start with the word imagine. There's that word again, one of my favorites. Remember when, or picture this. This helps the reader sell to themselves. Like I said, they're playing along here. They know a story is coming. They're more inclined to read the next line. They're making that better human connection with you as well. And you're just relating to them. If you're like saying that I can understand your problems, here's what I went through, right? Then they're more likely to understand that, like, all right, this person can help me because they've gone through the same things. I can relate to them. So a few things for your website, your call to action button. So we showed that example before where it said download now. And some guys you might have like get in touch or view my portfolio. So right away, you may think having your big CTA button front and center is the best approach. Like if you want to say buy now, but the studies do show that more people click on buttons when it's further down on the page. So why is this? So because you need to persuade the reader that you can help them before you ask them to buy. So if you're doing a sales page, or if you have this more complex product, you don't want to say necessarily buy now. You want to give them enough information to really make sure that they can reach out to you to start shopping, to become a paying customer for you. Don't neglect your website footer, everyone. It's important to have your big tabs there at the bottom, like about page, home page. Don't use image sliders or galleries on your home page. A lot of them don't get watched. It really distracts people. Autoplay audio or video, you don't want to have those as well. Every page should have one clear call to action for the reader. And then on your navigation bar, about, services, demo, the important pages you want on your navigation bar. Absolutely. But yes, let's get into it. So guys, the first website that I wanted to look at more in detail was Designs Unlimited, which is a website design company, and they also create logos here. And if we look back at some of the examples and some of the things that we were talking about, here, the homepage headline, it doesn't necessarily give the complete value that they offer the customers. Here, it just seems more SEO focused, with the creative websites and logos. But what is the value in this headline, right? And there's really, if we look back to those 5 questions, so the what, we get the what. We create websites and logos. The who, small businesses and solopreneurs, which is good, right? Though how can they take the next step? Read more our work. It's not completely clear of how we could get the next step of maybe potentially being a customer. Our work is close, but the thing that's missing is that wow transformation and the value here. So some other examples that I can think of for this, for Designs Unlimited, and they have a visual here in the background. It could be a little bit more, prominent and clear to see, but maybe it could be like how small businesses and solopreneurs get a website that work, right? Your big idea turned into reality could be another one. But need a beautiful website for your business, for your small business. If you could start with a question, right? Need a beautiful website. It's like, yes, here's what we can do. Designs Unlimited offers you a fully comprehensive website design and development service, delivering cutting-edge, tailor-made online experiences for small businesses and solopreneurs. So you see, when I read that out loud, it's a pretty lengthy sentence. There's a lot of good information there, but there's also some buzzwords: cutting-edge, tailor-made. It seems like sometimes people fill these in there because they think that's what people want to hear to make them sound different. But again, we can be more simple and we can be more clear about this. So Designs Unlimited provides complete website design services, right, to help turn visitors into customers. It could be simple. Just like that, turn visitors into customers in complete website design and logo services. And another one could be Designs Unlimited is a boutique design studio helping small businesses give customers an enjoyable online buying experience. So we could talk a little bit more. This is how we deliver the value. We're this boutique design studio, and this is how we help turn your big idea into reality. So that's one example there, looking at this Designs Unlimited website of kind of what's missing and what can be improved from a copywriting standpoint. Because creative and websites and logos, you could even say get creative websites and logos, or get your creative website and logo today, right? We can make it more prominent of get a responsive website in 10 days. Because an objection could be, I don't have a lot of time. I need an attractive, responsive website now. Those are some ways that you can do that in the headline there. If we go down with these CTA buttons here, read more, our work. So if I go to read more, I think it takes me to the full homepage where about me. Hello, I'm Lisa. Sorry if I pronounce the name wrong, but it goes to different, because before that it's a landing page. But our portfolio, contact us. It could be see our work. We could be more visual where they could see it right away. We're saying the same thing, but realistically, see our work could be more effective call to action button there. Contact us. It could be start a project. If they already know Designs Unlimited and they go there and they kind of know that they want to work with you, you would just say start a project. It's a little bit more personal to the reader as well. But getting your business on the map, again, this could be part of the headline. Creative websites and logos to help get your business on the map, help your business stand out. And then who are you? How do you deliver that value? Well, we're a boutique design studio helping small businesses. And then I'd recommend a testimonial right away with maybe a visual of an actual website that you've created. Talk about, use an example. Like, since working with Designs Unlimited, we've had our bounce rate decreased 20%. That could be in bold, like right here, it could be in bold. And then our website was in desperate need of a refresh. Designs Unlimited helped us from start to finish. They were with us every step of the way. Like, answer some objections with the testimonial. And then here, she's front and center. Again, if it's a personal brand, maybe have that closer to the top of the fold. But I've been in building websites for 20 years, web development, web design, SEO, and social. Great. Here with services, Design Unlimited offers you, I feel like we talk about your packages. If the goal is to get somebody to buy right away and you're trying to, or contact you, talk about some of the packages that you offer. It could be a website redesign, branding and logo design, and with a call to action button saying, I want this. Just get them on their journey a little bit faster of how they can learn about what you can do and reach out to you. And then here is where you would then maybe put the Designs Unlimited offers you fast delivery, attractive pricing, and more of like the process side of things. But sprinkle testimonials throughout a website for everyone. I think that's going to be a big part. So ready to make your idea come to life. So this is good copy right here. Let's get your business on the map today. So ready to make your idea come to life could be a great headline here. Right? Do you have any ideas, Eliana, to put you on the spot?
Put me on the
or
spot?
anybody chatting? Anybody in the chat is commented?
Get a website and logo you could be proud of, though that's quite overused in the creative space. But it really does the pain points.
Yeah, but it explains a transformation. So that's a great example. But here, creative websites and logos just seems like it's just for SEO purposes, and not really capturing human emotion and getting their attention there. If we go to the services page here, your services page is one of the most important pages, and you can make this more of a lengthy page because you want to go in details of the process. You want people to trust you. So our services, we are unique in the marketplace. but like, why are you unique in the marketplace? Everybody can say that, but why? Why here for your services page? You could say, just appeal to the reader here. You could say our services. Do you want more leads, sales, and fans because of your new design or because of your website? You could say something like that. Appeal to what the customer is looking for. And then here is, we offer design services to hit your goal. Here's what we can do for you. And then we can go the 3 main services here. Here's how we work. Here's our process. We start with design, or start with defining your goals. Then we design, we refine, and we build. I think that's a great element to have on the services page, but continue to be in detail of that work process. And then at the end, if, a la carte services, is there anything else we can help you with design? Great. And then have a contact for them to reach out to you after you explain a lot of here. And so that's some examples here from looking at this services page. The portfolio page, from a services standpoint, examples of our work, some of our websites. Again, this scrolling here is a little bit harder to see when we're doing that, to pay attention to. And then also just maybe even case studies of what you did, of what they came to you for, how you did it. Some of our logos, this is good. You could say the same thing, just a little bit, be more detailed, just to go, because there just shows how much more, detailed you are with the customer and how you can help them. And the copy can help with SEO purposes, the more copy that you have. But again, I think those are some things that you could help with the portfolio. But some other ones, Eliana and everyone watching, if we can go to here, Ubuntu Baba, which was like a baby carrier product, right? Step out into the world again. So this is a really good start. We're talking about this transformation, step out into the world again, but we don't know necessarily who we're talking to from a copy standpoint. The imagery really does tell us that, new parents, new mom holding a baby. The what we do, we can see that it's a baby carrier, but even from copywriting standpoint, you want to say this and you want to match the imagery on this top of the fold, because that will help with you ranking in the search engines. But again, this call to action, stage 1, 0 to 14 months. It could be something as like shop our carriers, or, find one for you today. But another, a headline here, step out into the world again. We could say helping new parents step out into the world again, or, how new parents see the world with their new baby, something like that, more of a value to the customer as well, and who we're talking to. I like the testimonial here at the top. Again, the gallery of it, I don't necessarily love those, as I talked about, everyone. But maybe having one of these at the top would be great. And then here, what are we really looking at here? The stage 1, stage 2, have a headline here that talks about, these are the different products that we have, or, shop our different baby carriers, and then different things like that. So, this headline here I thought was a really good start, but I think we're missing some things if we go back to those 5 questions of, who are we talking to? What do we do? What problem do we solve? What's the wow transformation? How do we do that? How do I take action? Right.
I mean, the other thing which could be really useful, Ubuntu Baby carrier is a very well-known carrier in South Africa. It's a local manufacturer, and I would like to see their credibility and the features and the benefits really kind of high up on the page, that it's made with love and with care and with natural all the ingredients they use really prove to me that this is better than any other carrier out there, because it is, and it has the reputation, and it has the social proof. And I would really want that to be really pulled out in every single way. The magazines they've been featured in, the blogs they've been featured in, the mum influencers they've used, because they really have a great name, and to really get more of that from the homepage. Yeah, no, that's a great point, because if you go back to the headline, it's like, all right, this is the value, and then how do they deliver that value? Like you said, Eliana, it could be, made from 100%, recyclable or sustainable materials, made for all adult sizes, made for comfort. It's like you finally find the carrier
you and your baby love. And like the social proof aspect of it, if they have that, you know, like the number one seller in South Africa for baby carriers would be huge right away.
The
Right?
shop local, all the Instagram hits, all the, you know,
Yeah.
there's so much more they can appeal to the local South African market as a leading baby manufacturer. They really, and they have it all to back it up. And I would love to see all of that on the page.
Yeah,
You know?
if that's your brand position and you have that brand authority, you need to highlight that. Absolutely. Great examples there, Eliana.
This is very easy to mistake for being, you know, a really average baby carrier with a nice, you know, review from one person. But I want to see the 4,500 reviews there are on Google, and I want to see all the Instagram shots of people wearing their babies and really make it relatable to me as a mother. This is what other people like me are using, and you combine visual proofs, numbers, you know, all the stuff, and really just go all in because they have what it takes.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Another one I want to show, Lone Hill Gardens. And so this one here just does not have enough on the homepage. So welcome to Lone Hill Gardens. To me, it's like, we know that. It's why we clicked on this website. It's why you gave me the link. Like, I know I'm at Lone Hill Gardens now. Design, irrigation, maintenance, get in touch. Again, if we talk about the transformation, you know, if anybody wants to chat, what are some ways that your life improves if you have this beautiful garden, if you get, you know, this lush green and vibrant colors of flowers, gardens, what does that look like? You know, it could be welcome to where getting the perfect lawn and garden happens. If you wanted to use welcome, another way to say that would be to talk about the value the customer gets. Instead of welcome to Lone Hill Gardens, welcome to where getting the perfect lawn and garden happens. You know, that's like one example there, where you could just say, get your, like something for an ad, like get your weekends back, because they're not going to be doing the lawn and garden services themselves. And be specific to the services, like lawn and garden services, you know, about us. It could be a little bit, that's good to have at the navigation button. But get in touch, you know, I know that's the desired goal, but maybe they can, you know, I don't know what you think, Eliana, but maybe just having a button to have them look at the services, or look like before and after pictures.
Get a free quote might be a big one.
Yeah, get a free quote. Get a free quote today. Absolutely. Services we offer could be a little bit more visual. If you actually had customer photos, I think that would be great. Explain what maintenance, irrigation, garden design, a little bit what goes into that. And then and then this is the site.
The important one with service-based businesses, especially locally and everywhere, is what makes you better than anyone else. You know, you really have to prove that you are better. Put those testimonials out there, show your process, show your history. Really, you have to do more than put a picture of a garden if you want someone to click through to you. It looks like you made the site, you know, without really, you know, you have so much value and you have so much experience, and we need to see this on your website. You know, I like to think of your homepage as your salesperson, and your salesperson would not just answer the phone and say, "Hi, we offer design, irrigation, and maintenance." They would do much more. They would say, "This is why you should trust us. This is all the things we've done for people. This is who you could ask." You really have to go all out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Having a testimonial at the top would be really valuable. And I mean, and you bring up the good point, like, the website is your salesperson. You need to look at this as an ATM machine, if you will. Like, this is where people go. This is how people get in touch with you and buy your services. So you want to explain to them of why you're unique. What is that transformation that I can get? Why you? Which is great. And the last one here, Resurgence Energy. Do we have time, Eliana?
Let's do this quickly. I want to go to the Q&A because I've got a bunch and I don't want to lose it.
Yeah. So sorry, this last one is just really, if we look at that me test that I talked about, there's a lot of we's, I's, and R's everywhere on this site. So the information is there, but we're really just talking about ourselves and not necessarily the value that the customer is getting. So we believe in finding stability through energy technology. Our specialty is in developing, implementing, and maintaining technology-driven energy systems and services. You know, it's kind of a mouthful. You know, we're excited to start a lot of our services. So just look at that and see how you can change that to flip it around to talk to, the customer, right? So like, we believe in finding stability through energy. Technology could be helping your business adopt sustainable practices faster. Could be something. That's who we're talking to. That's the value that we bring. I think this was I like using this example real quick for that me test of how we can flip these we, I, and our statements. But yeah, okay. I'll stop sharing there.
Great questions here. I'm going to pick out the ones which I think are most relevant and are in Terry's area.
I see that. Yeah.
Terry's areas
expertise. Yeah.
Somewhat related to design, which we're going to kind of skip out. Just a quick one. When a business is a dual marketplace to businesses and to customers, how do you focus with connecting with customers on the homepage rather than the B2B aspect? That's a great question. What happens when your target market is more than one customer?
Yeah, it's good to have a headline that really just tells you what you do as a whole. And then you can have the call to action buttons at the top to direct people where you want to go of I'm a customer or I'm a business, right? So like if you're selling, like I've worked with a company that does like amenity management for employees or for employers. So it could be, am I an employer or am I like a real estate agent? So it's like these amenities for residential buildings or residential for employers. We make sure that we have, where to go. And then the headline was, modernizing well-being was the headline because it's just a encompassing, headline that describes what we do as a whole.
Okay, there's one more here which I want to.
But that's a great question. I would just direct people towards the top of the fold of where to go in that case.
Okay. Okay. There's some questions about design and black backgrounds and stuff like that. Okay. And wait, here's another really important question from Shannon. And I think we'll close with this one. How do you use visualization in your copy when the product you're selling is intangible? Great question.
Can you say that again? I'm sorry, I was reading it too. Sorry.
How do you use visualization when the product you're selling is intangible? Which is
intangible. Yeah, so, that's a great question.
You're selling an accounting service.
Like a what service?
An accounting service, right?
An accounting service. Yeah. I think we just picture them walking through their day, like their day-to-day when they wake up. What are some problems that arise? What are some things that, like, if they had this accounting taken care of, if they could get more time back in their day, talk about those real human life experiences, use like a good example of visualization of using words like, like the imagine or waking up or walk or seeing, like imagining opening up your email to be like, all your accounting's done for the month, right? Like that's a visual there that you can use of, because you're right. It's not a tangible of just like, hey, look, hold this accounting services in your palm of your hands. But you can use the emotional feeling side of it, of, again, talking about that, like emotional benefit of the benefit transformation. I think those would be a good example.
Right. I mean, the other quick, and then we're going to wrap up, is you could ask them, the 2 a.m. problem. What's the 2 a.m. problem you're solving, and show them how you're solving that. So yeah, I always wake up and I just need someone to sort out the wires in my living room. They're just everywhere. So get your wires sorted. Just really simple and clear. It doesn't have to be clever or fancy or anything. It can just be really clear.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the one company, like a task management company. It's like you have all these tabs open for your to-do list, but it's like, here, have one app open instead of 5.
Right.